This episode is called Lost/Found. I absolutely love this episode, as I do most Star Wars live action and animated. Yeah, there will be spoilers in this video for, everything Star Wars leading up to, including this episode. Yeah, let's dive right in. So I'm going to probably be speaking fast throughout this because, physical pain, as usual. Yeah, I have not yet watched the second part. I am aware episode 2 is also up. I am probably gonna do it. Let's see. I'm recording this Thursday night. I'm not 100% certain if I'm gonna process it tonight or tomorrow morning. But tomorrow morning, Friday morning, I'm gonna watch and vlog about episode 2. Yeah. I really loved how noir this was, like, Noir Wars or Star Noir. Noir Wars. I'm pretty sure that would appeal to Darcy Lewis. Yeah, Star Wars has always, right from the very start, from A New Hope onwards, been fairly elastic. It can handle a lot of different genres without, going past the breaking point. And yeah, this is this the it's not the very first noir, because there was definitely also some noir in Attack of the Clones. I do like this show better than that movie, at least so far. Yeah, there's probably been other noir. I don't remember every single episode of each of the animated shows. But yeah, fantastic job on how noir it is. Right from the very start. The music before the intro text, feels more like it feels like noir by way of Star Wars, and that's, I feel like most things in this episode are. So instead of just saying it every single time, I'm just going to list some of the things that really felt, extraordinarily noir. We open on a mysterious stranger, paying someone for information. She enters this, kind of scummy kind of place, which is also, it's interesting that there's a Jedi in there, and it seems like the other people there know that this is a Jedi, so this is, and this is, I don't think we've seen this era of Star Wars in live action or animation. I figure there's probably some like novels or comic books or something about it. I haven't read any of those. I'm not opposed to it. I just haven't. But this thing of like she goes right up and says you're that Jedi. Not in those exact words, not verbatim quote, but yeah. And everyone at the table seems no one's like a Jedi, so yeah, the Jedi themselves are a tad edgier here. They feel as, tiny bit more like, more than a tiny bit more like the cops of a noir story than the Jedi that we're used to. Really love that. Yeah, I don't know if I love. I suppose. Let's see. There's going to be 8 episodes this season. I don't know. I think I would have liked if they left the mystery for a little longer, because until they reveal that this is May, she's still alive despite, we were told that her entire family died in the fire. I really liked not knowing what on earth is going on, because Osha does not act like someone, it's one thing that she denies that, that there's a lot of people who are guilty who deny, that they are. But it's like, if she killed a Jedi, would she show her face and then just stay in an area so close to, wouldn't she have planned some sort of escape from there? The fight itself was amazing. I'm always down for some Carrie Ann Moss. it's too bad that her character died this early. I guess maybe there'll be a flashback or a Force Ghost or something, but yeah, I really really liked her in the Matrix movies. I loved her on Jessica Jones. This doesn't really come close to Jessica Jones. But yeah, and that's also, if you want if you want a Jedi that's like, there's the self-control and discipline and all this stuff, but they're not necessarily completely pure, badass, not necessarily pure, but you can sense some goodness in there. Yeah, Carrie-Anne Moss, excellent choice. She's also great in Memento. The yeah, the fact that she doesn't she goes for a very long time without drawing the saber, which of course we saw in the trailer. We knew that was, but still is, yeah, fantastic to yeah. Um, I really love the exchange. Jedi do not attack the unarmed, which is also a very interesting way to phrase it. She doesn't say, "I'm not going to attack you." There's no evidence that you're a bad guy. No, she just says, if you're unarmed, which, I mean, that's like Predator rules. That's not being a good ethical person. And yeah, May responds, "Yes, they do." Jedi do attack people who are unarmed, which, by the end of I do appreciate, by the end of the episode, we still don't know quite what, because, like, the Jedi didn't start the fire. It was always burning. So I don't know exactly what she means by that. I'm very excited to find out. Let's see. Then we have yeah, I really love, like, 100%, she was gonna murder that bartender who was defenseless. It's not like he was, like, at least one of the people she killed was, did have a gun, but that was not my favorite part, when he's like, "Oh no, I can't draw my gun." Like, that felt very awkwardly staged. That's one of my only complaints about this entire episode. Let's see. But yeah, she was 100% gonna murder that bartender, and it's like, oh, he has a kid. Okay, I know, not gonna murder him in front of the kid. I will say there was like a fraction of a second where I was like, is she gonna kill both of them? Is she gonna kill a kid? But ultimately, they're not going quite that dark, though it is in some ways darker than a lot of other Star Wars. I'm not saying it's the only dark or necessarily the darkest. The yeah, there's some incredibly dark stuff in the trilogies also. But yeah, um, I really appreciate that Osha, like, straight up has PTSD. Like, they're not like playing around like, oh, I don't know, she seems, maybe it's PTSD, maybe she's just nervous. No, she's got PTSD. She sees fire and, like, gets an audio flashback, and she's like, they're in danger. This is a dangerous situation, and her buddy has to snap her out of it. That's, yeah, she has PTSD, and unsurprisingly, fantastic performance by Amandla Stenberg, who I understand goes by she, her, and they, them pronouns. Yeah, loved her since she played Rue in Hunger Games. She was phenomenal in The Hate U Give. Just, which I admit I was, I it took me way too long to get to that movie, but I'm really glad I have watched it now. Yeah, just fantastic performance as both sisters, as both of the twins. Let's see, but yeah, she wakes up, and I appreciate that for a while I wasn't quite sure, like, because she wakes up and it's like dramatic, and I'm like, did she dream that, or was it like imagined or something? But no, it's confirmed later. It did actually happen. That was also, when we see, I want to say he was referred to as Master Soul, when we see him, teaching, and there's this young African American, Padawan, youngling, I guess. You know what I mean. And she's like, I see fire. I was like, oh, this is Osha as a kid. And then, like, 2 minutes later, they're like, Master Indara was killed by Osha, So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I can't say for sure if it was purposeful, if they meant for us to be slightly thrown off like that, but I kind of dig it. It was, yeah. And yeah, Osha wakes up on the ship, and Pip is like losing it. And it's like, okay, we get it. You're excited about being merchandise. Seriously, they're gonna sell a lot of Pips. And let's see, yeah, cool to see Trade Federation, Nemoidians. They're still just the worst. I wasn't the biggest fan of this kind of MCU style joke of like, we can hear you, Yeah, I chuckled, but I liked when it was slightly darker, which, other than Pip and those kinds of jokes, this was quite dark, and I feel like maybe that's the compromise, I just wish they didn't feel the need to compromise quite as much as they do, because Andor didn't. Andor, one of the best Star Wars properties. Just hands down, not even, yeah, 100%. And that one, sure, it had the robot that misses Marva, but on the other hand, like, is it like light and funny, or is it just kind of sad? It's this very tragic thing, I don't want that. I want Marva, that was just, yeah. And here, like, Pip, not really tragic, and the jokes, I guess I should say, for people new to my channel, I do love the MCU. I just, I would not mind if they eased up on those jokes and, really embraced the darkness that they've been going towards recently. Moon Knight has a lot of darkness, so does Werewolf by Night, which was I feel like there was at least one of the movies, but the title escapes me at the moment. But yeah, let's see. Yes, so that brings us... Yeah, I like this thing of, she does save the violent prisoner, and, you have the point, that doesn't mean she didn't kill Indara, And I like the element that she, like, yeah, she received Jedi training, but she's not, like, using it in she tries, but she can't quite force pull, use telekinesis to get Pip. She ends up being lucky that Pip slides down, even so, but yeah. And yeah, I kind of like how that's another part of the darkness, although it's also kind of darkly comedic, but no good deed goes unpunished. She didn't kill Indara, and she keeps like everyone who listen, although I suppose they don't listen, but they perceive the words that's coming out of her mouth. She says, "I didn't kill that Jedi," And, she's like, no, I don't want to do a jailbreak. And then when they do the jailbreak, it's like, okay, can you help a sister out? This is getting, and they're like, nope, good luck, Jedi killer. And then she helps the violent prisoner, and he just, like, bolts out of there. Just like, holy crap. Hold the door for, like, 2 seconds, and she's in there, like... Just, yeah. Let's see. Right, I like how these Jedi use their powers just slightly more, like, they're there to arrest Osha, and, he's like, no, I mean, we don't have, and instead of like, I mean, okay, I get it. They're chasing, a murderer. Even so, they don't give this guy much of a chance before just like doing the old mind trick and having, thank you for your cooperation. Okay, you're welcome, Black Widow. And later with the agitated, the violent prisoner, which is also like, okay, violent prisoner, I get that they feel they need to do something. Facehugger? Holy crap. Like, okay, PG facehugger. Still, that was a facehugger. There's other, like, they could have had something on, like, the side of the head or something. Although I suppose that might imply, like, should I say that in case young audiences are watching? Let's just go with that could also have implications. But yeah, he goes up to him and again just does the mind trick instead of trying, because like yeah, dude's agitated. Maybe try just saying like, okay, I get that you're, this was very upsetting experience. You could really help a lot, if you could try to just, try to find some peace within and talk to me. It won't take long, but no, just immediately mind trick. Let's see. Right, I like the green-skinned, Jedi who said in an interview that she prefers to have green skin, which, yeah, I'm glad you got the role then. And, she's just like, so, I really, really want to kill this teenager. Are you down? Which, like, I just want there to be an outtake where he's like, that's your answer to everything. We are not doing this for a 4th time this week, okay? You have a problem. Also when Osha is like on the edge and Soul is trying to talk her down, I also just really want there to be an outtake with like, I didn't kill that Jedi. I don't care, but yeah. Let's see. Right, I really love that the prison transport has like, it's being controlled by droids, and then, when the droids are shut off, which also, like, I do feel like that, okay, could they not have, like, if it's a prison transport with droids, see, Star Wars universe, the Jedi just do not have good luck with prison transports recently, there's Ahsoka, like, you really got to do something about that. Like, at least in Ahsoka, it's actually, I guess, okay, fair enough. I guess both of them, it's this thing of they are woefully underprepared for, bad guys in both of these ages of Star Wars. But yeah, the robots are the droids are turned off, and the droid head turns and slides it, and yeah, suddenly it's just regular pilot chair, pilot seat. That was quite a clever, yeah. Let's see, kind of like the bulky, droid guard. 3PO got jacked, and let's see. Yeah, and that other alien convict with like, rips off the head and unlocks the cell. Let's see. Yeah, it was kind of amusing, this thing of like, they're like, oh, we're gonna make a break for it, and like 5 minutes later they're back in a cell. Let's see. I think that pretty much covers. Yeah, I like the detail that Osha is in a cell by herself. Like, not with the violent, subdued prisoner, not with all the others, she's there by herself. That was very, like, yeah, they're maybe concerned about, yeah. Let's see. yeah, I didn't really think they needed the jokes about Yord not really, put some clothes on. That was also just slightly unnecessary. Very cool to see Daphne Keane again. Just yeah. I hope this means that she just really likes this nerd stuff because it's not that this is the only stuff. She was on a show called The Refugees, which seems like it might be like an actual realistic kind of thing. But then, Logan, something called His Dark Materials, which is described as fantasy. This, right, she was also in something called Anna with one N. Puerto Rico, aftermath of Hurricane Maria. So yeah, that also sounds so yeah. I appreciate. I'm glad movies are being made about things like that. Does sound very realistic. So yeah, out of her 5 roles, 3 of them are nerd stuff. I like that it's such a different performance from Laura in Logan. In any one scene she has in this episode, she has more lines of dialogue than in the entirety of Logan. That might be a slight exaggeration, but yeah. She's so much more well-adjusted here, which also, I saw she did an interview with, I want to say, Cinema Blend, and yeah, I'm very happy to see she does appear to be just a well-adjusted young person. I know it's silly, but watching Logan, she's just so convincing. You find yourself wondering. I mean, I really hope she's not this like traumatized and closed off in real life. But yeah, she's an actress. It's what they do. They're very very convincing when they're this good. But yeah, um, let's see. I think that might be. Yeah, that. But by the way, that was a quite good interview. I recommend watching it. I think that might be what I have about this episode. Just gonna real quick see. Oh, right. Very cool to hear a mention of Nar Shaddaa. I'm not sure. I, I don't think it's been mentioned in live action, at least. Maybe animation, but, as a quite the fan of the Kyle Katarn games, yeah, Nar Shaddaa, I clocked that immediately. Great action scenes, great tension. The crash was really like holy crap. And I think, yeah, and also like once she sees May, they run between different locations, either really really fast or it's like a psychic thing. And yeah, again we have this thing of like how much of this is happening and then she wakes up after, so yeah, like either there's a couple of options. Maybe May sent her that message. Maybe it's OSHA picking up on it, whether or not May wants it. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure which it is, but yeah, just really really excellent. I'm looking forward to finding out. I appreciate that the subtitles just identify him as Stranger or the Stranger or something, the guy who talks there at the very end before igniting a lightsaber, which like I've said it before, sometimes they just kind of ignite a lightsaber just to show off. And I can't really blame them. It's cool to have a lightsaber. If I had a lightsaber, I would probably ignite it at some point during every single conversation that I had with someone. And that's what we see here. That's what we see with Maul at the end of Solo. It's cool. What do you want? Yeah, really really excited to see where they go from here. Loving it so far. Yeah. Um, I think that is absolutely everything. So, Yeah, right. Real quick, I thought the camaraderie really worked. That's something that I think works well in Star Wars, and it's something, it's in the original trilogy, it's in the sequel trilogy. I would say they try for it at times in the prequel trilogy, and I maintain it's probably more George Lucas's direction and sometimes his writing than the actual actor's talent. I've seen pretty much all the major players in the prequel trilogy do much better elsewhere, but yeah, I quite appreciated, the yeah, OSHA's camaraderie with the the guy that she works with, and also some with Yord, which also, holy crap, she's just putting away the little droid thing, and he's like, "Are you going for your weapon?" Which was also like a kind of edgy cop thing to do. Like, so yeah, that is not the most positive reunion to have someone you used to trust, think you're pulling a weapon. And I love that she just, she doesn't put her hand down. She just continues what she was doing, staring him down. Just, yeah. And let's see, I think that might be about, right? And the bartender's just like, that's her, definitely. I would know her anywhere, like, I mean, I get wanting to, like, cooperate with Jedi and stuff. Maybe they mind tricked him off screen or something, but, like, she did spare your kid, like, holy crap. No good deed. But let's see. Yeah, I'm sure some people are going to take issue with this. I did like that the younger Jedi in the, I was about to say Padawan, but I think Yord said he made Knight, so I guess he's not a Padawan anymore. I really appreciate it that they're a little bit more casual. At first, Daphne Keen's character is like permission to speak freely, but yeah, she does point out, why do you have that? And he does have a good reason for keeping the hollow. But yeah, the fact that they're not, these like perfectly well behaved, very very stiff, and I'm sorry, bland and boring. I really appreciate that. I don't. I think if you're gonna tell stories that have Padawan, you gotta make them have at least a little bit of personality. Because I get that, like, teachers want students who are really well behaved, but when you've got fiction, you really do have to have some character in there, or they're just not interesting to watch. And I felt like they completely avoided that here, so kudos.